Hey guys, how's it going? Talking about sort of self-care with all the stuff that's happening. Me, self-care, rubber. Not really self-care, bruising. Well, I've been doing some things at home. Taking advantage of the fact that I'm on holidays, slowing it down. I've also been kind of restricting a lot of my social media and news because it's not that I don't care, not I'm not concerned about what's going on in the world with the CV. As you know, we in Australia like to say we like to shorten everything and lengthen things that are short, but it can drive people nuts in a way that's it's like a hysteria that gets whipped up, and when that happens, it's like a mob mentality. You get the hoarding, you get the panic buying, you get people doing. You get to see the best and the worst out of people, amplified, like exaggerated and all that. And a lot of things you wouldn't expect to happen, and a lot of people that would otherwise be sort of calm, collected, can get caught up in a lot of this stuff. And I've taken the step of like, okay, I'm going to go to the source of a lot of this stuff. On the federal government website that I look at occasionally, and the state government website on what's going on. I read it. I don't listen to it. I stay away from a lot of news sources at the moment, just because a lot of people are putting their own spin on the actual facts and what's going on with regards to restriction and all that. And they're making a lot of assumptions that are not healthy. And when I've actually looked down into the proper, the legislation or the measures that they're taking, really, really read into it and drill down into what the nitty gritty is, they just look at the first line or the one line and then they just go, oh, this means everything's closed. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It means, I went to my chiropractor the other day and they sent out a email as well saying, we're restricting the numbers that are coming in because we want to keep taking care of people's health. There's no reason that you can't or places can't sort of still stay open. There's been partial closures, so people having takeaway stuff. Again, practicalities and people trying to stay open as long as possible, with preventative means and also some common sense. And I will still go out and talk and see my friends, but obviously it's up to them to let me know that if they're affected or if they're sick, and I'll also take on the responsibility of, if I'm not feeling well, I'll go, look, I'm staying away from you guys because you might catch something, you're compromised, so I'll do my best, and the onus is on me to tell them and keep them aware that whether I'm safe or not, or whether they are safe or not, it's up to them to let me know. So I've got a bit of a sore throat, but that's not from a cold or anything. I've been working on a building site, so I've been breathing in lots of dust particles, so my throat's a bit sore, particularly when some of those particles are fiberglass. PPE, forgot to wear it that day. So yeah, anyway, keeping calm, wearing rubber. Yes, Paul, I'm keeping well. I'm making sure I'm eating, drinking lots of fluids and eating well, have some bone broth going, and have vitamins. Have your vitamins. And good news is that a lot of the poo tickets, the toilet paper situation, more normal sort of stock levels are happening. I'm not sure, I think there's still restrictions on the number that you can buy in the stores, but they are still being seen on shelves. So the supply line for a lot of things that people have panic bought are ramping up and are compensating. Yet there is a lot of people that are out of jobs currently. I think a lot of businesses have panicked and fired a lot of their staff. Some of them have been encouraged to apply. They'll still keep them on and bring them back when they reopen. But in the meantime, there are a lot of people out of jobs. So I do encourage friends to look after each other, and people who care about should look after each other and help each other. There are still some jobs out there. A lot of them in the food and supply chain areas. Increasing cleaning. I'm thinking towards the future though. Long term, I'm thinking biosecurity, quarantine, cleaning jobs will be increased and all that sort of stuff. It depends. Um, Depends on what you want to do as a job and whether you want to go back to your old job. 'Cause some people didn't actually like their old jobs. I don't know if it's a thing for a change, but anyway, a lot of people are taking things and catching up with the slowness and taking the time to, I guess, take care of their own mental well-being by not engaging in social media as often, or as much as people like. Because I'm seeing a lot of people on Facebook, like every half hour or every time there's a notification, jumping on Facebook and making comments on different things. Some of them contradict each other, and I just will go like, okay, I'll jump on a few times a day and check up on things. Some things I'm just going to ignore and not comment on, or just kind of like briefly. But I say and encourage people to take time out to read books, take time out to get away from social media for a bit, let your mind calm down, letting your brain sort of calm down, and not giving into a lot of the hysteria that's on social media. Not to say don't be cautious, but to say don't get caught up with it. Don't sit there looking for the latest updates, the latest news every half hour or so. Get a cup of tea or coffee or a nice drink, grab a book. If you're isolating or it's just the weekend or you can't go anywhere, grab a book, sit out in the back in your garden if you have one. Or if someone's in isolation that that's a friend of yours, give them a Skype call or a Facebook call or something, and have a chat with them. A cup of coffee, tea, talk about the latest books you've read. Get their mind off, being isolated. Take care of each other's health. Like I was telling people, that the virus doesn't discriminate against anyone or anything. You can take your measures, and many people do take as much precaution as they can, but they could still catch it it's not careless. They're not careless or anything. It just happens, So yes, I definitely hope the elderly can get the essentials they're poor. I did share a meme on Facebook about particularly a lot of the diggers who went and fought to sacrificed a lot. Not only diggers, but a lot of people in essential services like emergencies, police, fire, ambos, and all that sort of stuff. I'll also include in that a lot of the people that you don't see every day, your truckies, your shelf stackers, and all that sort of other stuff. There's a lot of people, a lot of infrastructure that we don't see behind the scenes. I hope that they can get, what they need. A friend of mine who's actually a farmer, he's saying it's really horrible that some people are coming in from the city and taking a lot of their essentials. I said, well, if you need anything, just give me a bell. I can't guarantee anything, but if I can send you something, I will. Okay? So, take care of yourself. What are you going to do to protect your emotional, physical, mental well-being during this time? Are you just going to bow out of social media for a bit? Are you going to call a friend who might be affected? Are you just going to slow it down in general? I know some of you, everything's sped up. You got a lot of overtime now because you're in some of those support services for the supply chain. I know that there's some abattoirs that are working 18-hour days. A lot of the truckies, that'll be interesting with cross-border, but a lot of your farmers, they're feeling the pressure. So hopefully that'll be, hopefully it won't be for too long, because the longer it goes on, I guess the more desperate some people will be, but also the provisions are starting to take effect, such as, the supply of toilet paper is just getting out there, and fresh food, veg, all that sort of stuff. So take care of yourself, take care of especially your mental well-being, because if you don't take care of your mental well-being and your emotional well-being, physically your autoimmune system will go down, and that will make you more susceptible. So take time, relax, and keep calm, and keep wearing the rubbers. See you guys.